Good evening and welcome to the nighttime heat tonight on this beautiful Wednesday. That's midweek, and of course tonight we have four major discussions that will be doing justice to my panelists, along with the rest of them, and including listeners and viewers. I know you will join us as well, doing justice to those four major discussions. This program is being aired right here on Prime FM 105.5 and also relayed on Radio Kegema, and that is in Makari, Kwatika de Bonkari, and of course, Radio Wulgisi in Lofa Kambi. We are streaming live as usual on Prime FM Morovia 105.5. Again, Prime FM Morovia 105.5. We are streaming live and also streaming live on our YouTube channel. That's the Nighttime Heat YouTube channel, and streaming live also on our Facebook page. That's the Nighttime Heat Facebook page. So hoping that you are there. Either maybe you are in the diaspora. Just log in on our Prime FM Morovia 105.5 on our Facebook page. Just tap the Nighttime Heat. As soon as you do so, you're going to go live. You're going to watch the show live online. And of course, you can enjoy yourself. We want you not to only watch the show, you alone. We don't want to be biased or selfish. We want to invite authors to watch along with you. Just share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow what's happening tonight on the Nighttime Heat. I'm still expecting my panelists. I only have one of the panelists in studio. David Benedictus Erasmus Tagwe, always always on time. This guy is a professional broadcaster. He does respect time, and so he always here. Let me just acquaint you with what is coming up tonight. The MCC. We're still waiting for the big news. The MCC. That's the Millennium Challenge. Let me try to get it right quickly. We'll be deciding on its board resolution. That we heard, and of course we'll have a recording, a video of the Minister of Finance and Development Planning. Yesterday he had a press conference, talking about the efforts made that could likely result into Liberia getting some huge financial benefits today. And so we'll play that video and talk about some of the things the minister have been talking about. And so we still are waiting. I'm sure the board meeting should be on by now. Our ears are all out, opened. To know whether we'll get some benefits. We are very hopeful as a country, as a people. We are very hopeful. Out of the $500 million, well, if that happens, bulk of our development programs will receive speed. So we are very hopeful. And also tonight we'll be looking at. We're still trying to get in touch with him. We want to do a grill with the Sano County Representative Romeo Quia. This man has been on top of the issue of the creation of 14 additional districts. There's this whole debate. Some said, well, it's unconstitutional, but some lawmakers said no, it's constitutional. But some said even if it is constitutional, it's not expedient now, given our economic status. It's not expedient now. It's not expedient now because it's going to come along with a budgetary allocations, all of that. So we'll be talking about the issue with the issue about the 14 additional districts that have been created. And also tonight, there's this confession that been made, confession to anti-We Are propaganda campaign that's making rounds. We understand that the lead hosts of the Spoon Talk confessed that bulk of the allegations, including the death of the auditors, those perceived to be auditors, The three boys who, in fact, were killed or died. He said that according to what we read, that he and authors concocted, they trump up those allegations so as to depopularize the Congress of Democratic Change administration at the time. We're going to look at that for a man who's using our airwaves to come up and make such an admittance or admission. Well, it tells us that our airwaves is in serious trouble. Our airwaves are in serious trouble, especially with individuals who don't have the capacity, to get on the airwaves, and they are there, making and trumping up issues and making allegations that are far-fetched. I think the government needs to come in, and begin to help the people to regulate the airwaves. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that as well. And then also, what's making rounds, the National Port Authority, under the leadership of Sekou Dukli, has released its performance report for 2025, bragging of delivering results, reforming systems, and reclaiming leadership at the National Port Authority. We got that our achievement report. We'll look into that tonight. If what has been indicated, if it is something to go by, then I think the Sekou Dukli's leadership has done extremely well. But if not something to go by, then we're going to also default with what we've read as well. So that's the shape of the nighttime heat tonight. My panelists are coming in one by one. Let me try to welcome David Benedictus Rasmus in that way. Tower. You have to drink a bottle of water, before you Dave, how you doing today?
So instead of drinking a bottle of water, just call, just a David Tagbert if you don't want to.
No, I want to drink water.
If you don't want to choke yourself.
I used to.
Okay, somebody, it's always a pleasure to be on the nighttime heat. Yeah. So it's good to be here. And good evening to our many listeners and also those who are viewing on the social media.
Okay.
I'd like to also greet my fellow panelist, Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy. He's always rocking something always enjoying.
Man, somehow, I'm not a radio personality. I've been in
the print media.
Print media for long.
Now you are being initiated now.
Yeah. So sometimes when I go, I've tried to review the classic myself.
I know.
I'm a little embarrassed, but so now my truth,
No, you have to.
So you forgive me for that. I will get used to it.
No, it's understood. It's understood, Dave. It's understood.
Yeah, it's I mean,
George.
It is good to be back again tonight. Mr. Saba, thank you so much. Mr. Tagbert, thank you so much. You guys were of us in the media.
Yeah.
And we came and met you, so we always learning from you. We never hide it from the public. We are among people like you, Mr. Sandy. Yes, we can argue sometimes. In the midst of the argument, we're learning lots and lots of things, how to put things into perspective. And sometimes Mr. Sandy can try to get, I'm trying to learn from you, but I got to force you for you to give out the way you get. So anyway, thank you so much, and thank the general public. We say please watch the show and share it. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's good. And again, let's say that we are still making some frantic efforts trying to mobilize the resources, governance sort of our effort to get more money so that we can broadcast the show on a daily basis. It's extremely costly. We have to pay the airwaves. We have to pay for the station rather. We have to pay the airtime, and also we have to get do our own subscription of our equipment out of that. So it's quite costly, but we're still trying to see how we can gather more resources so that we can do the show on a daily basis from Monday up to Friday. Couple of things that we'll have to do before that happens. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat right there on Prom FM. 105.5. Sabo George is my name. And of course, I'm here along with my panelists. I know Moses Sandy will shortly join us. Edwin as well will shortly join us. But gentlemen, I'm sure you heard the topics that will be doing justice to tonight. Let me ask you first, Ed, no, not Ed, but George Kennedy. Is there anything been trending on your mind before coming up here?
Yes, a lot of good things going on across the country. As today, I saw photographs of the commencement of the Lofa County Road. That's a milestone. A lot of people from that side been wishing for over the years. Some people waited for it their lifetime, they couldn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're seeing a glimpse of what's happening in the county, the road project. And, we just want to say, to encourage the Ministry of Public Works to continue these infrastructure projects. Very necessary. Those are some of the things I saw. You try to talk about the MP, a lot of good things.
So we'll talk about that. It's part of our discussion. Okay. Diff, anything trending?
Look, our country has a lot of challenges. And as media people, we have a pivotal role to play in terms of educating the public and creating awareness in many areas. And this specific issue I'd like to talk about is the issue of people always taking the law into their hands or wanting to take the law into their hands. For example, something happened today on Kerry Street. A guy was accused of stealing, I don't know whether a trousers or a shirt, and the crowd ran behind him. And before they could grab him, fortunately for the suspect, officers of the Monrovia City Corporation were around, so they took custody of him to protect him from the angry crowd. But yet and still the guys insisted that they wanted the guy to be delivered to them. They wanted to beat the hell out of him.
Mob justice.
And mob justice. The issue of mob justice, actually, it needs to be stopped. We've had so many experiences in our country where you heard about a suspect was taken to the police station, and a group of angry guys walked there and even burned down the police station because of wanting to get the person out of the police station. And that's absolutely wrong.
Surely.
And had it not been because of the Monrovia City Corporation, the officers of Monrovia City Corporation, and others and others who were around who got involved in to save that particular guy, quite frankly, they would have mobbed him to death.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, actually, this is why, on our radio stations, even in our newspapers, as media people, we need to be flagging these things in creating awareness and educating our people that if a person is suspected of committing a crime, the best place you can arrest the person. Even citizens can arrest a person and turn them over to the appropriate authority or the police, which is the first line of justice in our society, instead of wanting to grab the person and mob them to death.
Yes, I think I agree with you. I agree with you. Seriously, we need to desist from the issue of mob violence because we are a democratic country. I don't think we need to practice that where we don't take a suspect to the law. We instead we intend to take the law in our own hands. That's totally unacceptable. I don't think we as a people, as a country, are prepared for that. But again, that's our country, Liberia. I don't know, sometimes when these people are trying to take the laws in their own hands, what are the police is so capacitated, to stop individuals of that nature. Okay, I think let me try to welcome this guy quickly. Oliver Wisa is on. Let me welcome Oliver. He's been at backstage. Oliver, welcome to the program. Unmute, Oliver. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sabas. It's a pleasure being on the show tonight.
Okay, so we are trying to hear from each other. What been training on our minds before coming to the program, and let me talk about this issue. And let me read this first. In a dramatic turn of events in the ongoing Capitol building as a case, discrepancies in the prosecution narrative have surfaced, raising questions about the integrity of the evidence presented. Initially, the state asserted that a large. Okay, so the thing is, the case on Capitol Hill continues to receive or go through drama. Again, I understand that the previous one that took place, the previous drama, had to do with the matchbox and cholera bottle, which, according to prosecution, were not listed in the evidence initially, but they've been brought forth. I mean, which, according to the defendants, were not listed in the evidence brought forth by the prosecution, but they are now being brought forth. So it's another question. And then the issue of again, I think today the court postponed the case, put a postponement on the case. The drama unfolded as key aspect of investigation aspects of the investigation came under scrutiny, raising questions about the strength of the state's case. I understand that some forensic, according to prosecution, forensic and investigation were conducted of materials that were presented into evidence. But let me read this quickly. During the session of the Temple of Justice, a crucial revelation emerged when a prosecution witness, Raphael Wilson of the Labrador National Police, disclosed that investigators had not performed forensic fingerprint analysis on the primary items believed to have been used to ignite the fire, specifically the Color Rocks bottle and a matchbox recovered from the crime scene, and not undergone scientific testing to establish any fingerprints evidence linking them to the accused. Under cross-examination, Wilson explained that forensic technicians had advised that fingerprint extraction was unfeasible because the surface of the items were too smooth for such analysis. Okay, so the court today put a postponement again on the case. Let me welcome Moses again before we can go further. Moses, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Saba. Thanks, George, and I hope Mr. Famla is here as well. David Tagman and the rest of the team. I want to say hi to Monrovia. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. So the issue that I'm trying to talk about is that almost every time there's this drama at the court, prosecution will bring forth evidence, and the evidence at the end of the day will be challenged by defense counsels and But this is a landmark case, and I thought Edwin would have been present. He just texted me that he has some issues, but the thing is, gentlemen, I think if an investigation was conducted and maybe forensic investigation was conducted, including like what happened on Capitol Hill with people using matchbox and gallons or cholera bottles to which contain the substance. I think there was a need to do some forensic, maybe looking at fingerprints, so that you establish who held at the time, or whose hands was that bottle in, or the matchbox. But if you can't establish that it was in the hands of one of the defendants, maybe I don't know, Speaker Kofa, or maybe one of the co-defendants, then it makes it difficult. And that's the reason why the media is reporting that there continues to be drama every time in the case, inconsistency in the presentation of the evidence. So hoping that this case can be properly adjudicated. It's a landmark case. In fact, not only Liberians who are listening, and are hoping also, we got the international community. We made a lot of noise. Oh, the minority bloc, they set the place on fire. Minority bloc, co-finance people set the place. And because of that, they went to jail as well. So hoping that the prosecution can be able to provide that those evidence that it claimed it had. And one of the things sometimes that gives the prosecution difficulty is when the police, because the police is the first
line of justice.
They do the investigation and submit evidence to prosecution. So if the police didn't do the proper, because we heard about some international expert, right? Yeah. Fire expert who came in as well. So I don't know whether they did any forensic or they didn't do any forensic, but we want to know whose hands those chloral bottle and matchbox, whose hands they were in.
This is what it matters in court, and we have to be careful not to prejudice in the ongoing case, because it says a landmark case, very sensitive matter then. And so this is why it is in court, to make the determination as to who did this and who did what. And so I want to suggest that we leave it like that. Those arguments would always come up. That drama will always continue as fast as the case continues. There'll be a lot of ups and downs. There'll be a lot of arguments, claims, and counterclaims. Then at the end of the day, the judgment will be made. Until that judgment.
But you could have saw why it is true that we don't intend to. I come here. We are also under obligation to keep the public informed about the trend of the case, the proceedings that it is going. Whether there's drama today and drama tomorrow, prosecution failed to present the proper evidence, or maybe defense counsel failed to present its evidence. We are under obligation to do that. But let me hear from you, Oliver. What went turning on your mind? If you want to also make comments on this, you can go ahead. So we can make discussion.
So there will always be drama at the court. That is a normal practice in any court, most especially when it involves high-profile government officials. Like somebody said one time that Liberia is one of the countries that is always embarrassing God. I want to believe that. That case has been a very simple case. Have we had one small camera at that Capitol building? I didn't support President Weah, and I will not support him. But he said something before he left power, that every home should have a CCTV camera. If the Capitol building had one camera, but now we're not discussing this thing. And so I think I do agree with Mr. Tagbe. Just leave it as it is and let the court do what it can do to determine who is actually at fault. But as it stands, there's going to be a whole lot of drama because there is no footage to prove anything.
Okay. All right. Moses, anything on your mind quickly so that we can go into our major discussions?
Before I even talk about what is on my mind, I just want to contribute to what you guys are currently talking about. These are high-profile things. I beg to differ with my brother David Tagbe, who says that we should leave it alone. We should leave it alone. It is good to continuously update about what is happening in the courtroom. because, like you said, Sobo, the international community is following with an eagle eye. People want to know what is happening because yes, what here we call prominence. Most of these guys involved are all prominent people in the country, high-profile people. So to be accused of a crime, that burden of proof is now on the government. And this is where President Joseph Yuma Boakai, will have to take into consideration the statement that he made. Impulsively, when he appeared at the Capitol building, he impulsively stated that the grounds of the grounds of the Capitol building is not a place for hooligans. And that statement insinuated that the fire outbreak was the work of hooligans. So this has become a challenge now for the executive to prove whether what the president impulsively stated is true or not. This is a serious challenge for the government. The government has to do everything it can to demonstrate not only to Liberians that hey, the allegations made against those people are legitimate. So let's continue to follow, let's continue to report, because the people have the right to know. Now, you talk about what is in my mind. I just want to speak quickly about, recent developments in the country, specifically the purchase of boats, for government employees. I have been seeing reports emanating from the Ministry of Finance that the purchase buses for government employees. The Ministry of Commerce did likewise. The Ministry of Posts and Telecommunication also purchased buses, for the transportation of its employees. And yesterday, the Ministry of Information was also in the media for purchasing buses for its workforce. Now, that is the thought I gave this. But let's take this for example. These actions are laudable, very plausible. We all want to make sure that our workers are getting to work on time and leaving on time. But I think our public officials need to begin to think outside the box. And the point I'm trying to get to here is that you purchase buses to commute people. For example, I grew up in Tompo Village, Garnetsville. If Moses Seni lives in Tompo Village, you got people living in Pinsville, people living in Broadville, and you got a bus from the Ministry of Finance that's supposed to pick up employees and drop them off. If the driver leaves the parking station 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, by the time the guy picks up everybody and will get to work is almost 11:30 to 12. What time do we have to really do our work? And when you look, because I know you guys, your official work time is 8 to 4. We are ready to leave. We leave again. Moses Seni who lives in Tombo Village, he gets on 8 o'clock in the night because the bus driver is dropping people all over the place. So I'm simply saying that instead of investing money into buying buses for employees, government can purchase utility vehicles that can be used for operational purpose. And if the government wants to show generosity to the workers, they can either offer to give the employees what we call transportation allowance. So, for example, Moses Sandy, who lives in Tombo Village, you say, hey, you know what, Mr. Sandy, every month we give you $10 US as transportation allowance. Then Mr. Sandy will be able to transport himself to work back and forth, and he will get to work on time. Take into consideration the traffic congestion you guys have in our country. If you have this bus driver that's commuting from one end to another, picking people up, people get to work late. So let me stop there, guys.
Okay, all right, Moses. I think you have a genuine concern. We can just dismiss your concern as not being
Well, it is a genuine but debatable concern.
Yeah, I
Genuine
know.
but debatable.
So you got any issue with that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's correct.
it's debatable.
It's not our major topic. Let's take about 5 minutes to do that.
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah.
What's your
Debatable in the sense that, look, the people who have the bosses, the ministries and agencies that purchase the bosses for the civil service, they have their schedules. They know that the employees have to get to work on time, and so it's scheduled. Not all the employees of ministries and agencies of government are living outside or far off from where the ministries and agencies are operating from. So yes, a reasonable number of persons working with government or civil service live outside the central town. But I think the bosses are well scheduled. This is why the ministries and they don't have one or two bosses. Some have 3, 4 bosses. So they are scheduled and they make the routes. You don't even know, even you and I don't even know when the bosses take off from where they're supposed to take off from to go pick up. Maybe they start at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning to make sure that these employees get to work on time. So that thing, I mean, it also helps in terms of alleviating the burden of transportation, of the transportation that the civil servant the thing you're talking about. Yes, of course, I'm not 100% dismissing what he's saying. Right? I'm not 100% dismissing what he's saying. But one way or the other, as far as I'm concerned, this is not the first time that government has purchased buses for civil
did that happen
service.
during the Elling's administration?
It happened.
yes.
It happened during the regime of Madam Sally. Even some in those time, it happened.
Okay,
So
all right. Let me hold you there. We're
something
not
like-
going to go long on this here.
We are discussing.
So Samuel, let me just provide clarification here.
Okay, all right. Quickly.
I like the word my brother Tagba used that it is debatable. But I just want my brother David Tagba to think outside the box. Let him be a human being.
Oh,
Do some so listen. I mean, I don't mean to be condescending.
No.
You suggest there's an animal.
No problem. No. That's his own view.
Go ahead.
So
To discuss. Go ahead.
There's so I don't want to make progress. It's a whole debate there.
Let's just come in quickly. Moses, go ahead.
When someone is speaking, it will be very good if we can just listen. And so the point I'm trying to make here, no matter how spread out the schedules are, the routes will always be different. You live in a country where traffic congestion is extremely high. I don't live there. You live there. You know that country better than I do. You know how traffic congestion is. Getting to the city center or getting to places of work. Why can't you? I'm not dismissing what the government is doing. It is good. But for the purpose of time management, like where I live, I have not seen any company that has, vehicle picking workers up.
Moses, this is the point to a point. Even if they were to use commercial vehicles to get to work, it was still
I'm not saying. Yeah, so you are agreeing with me. You are agreeing with me.
Can I even understand to go to work?
All right, guys. Thank you. Let's be safe.
All right, George, you still want to comment on this?
They can get to go to work anyway. I think.
Okay, so gentlemen,
I think the government is the best thing.
Yeah, Oliver, please, 1 minute. The big news that we all been hearing about since yesterday has to do with the MCC deciding on its board resolution today. Up to press time, we're still waiting to see what's going to happen, whether in our interest or not. But we've been declared eligible by the MCC. We passed the scorecard, so we've been expecting some good news. But let's listen to the Minister of Finance. Yesterday, he addressed the media on what's supposed to happen today. Let's listen to the Minister of Finance. Take a listen, and then we all can do our own analysis on what
on the government that we are fairly on track. We wouldn't jump the gun. You know that Liberia passed the MCC scorecards that were released, I think, more than about a month ago now, almost. And that we passed 12 of the 22 indicators. We needed to pass at least 11. And among the indicators passed had to be what they call the hard hurdles, meaning fight against corruption and personal freedom. So you can pass all other indicators. If you fail those, they don't consider you to have passed. We passed those. Let me put things in context. Many countries, some of whom are in our region, did not pass. I don't want to name and shame, but Liberia passed. And I also say that many countries that were considered for second compact across the world have been dropped. More than 16 countries have been dropped by the new administration. We are still in the game. Our case for reaffirmation goes to the board tomorrow. And the president is very confident. We are very confident. But we gave the board the benefit of the doubt. Liberia has done its part. So after tomorrow, we know what will happen. But I'm very hopeful that your country, my country, will cross the Rubicon.
Now you are fully confident that we will qualify. You think will be those specific areas that the compact will impact when Liberia is going to take this opportunity?
When the compact team came here, and as part of the discussion concerning our priorities, we've identified is consistent with the compact that was developed, the first compact in 2015. There's something called the growth and constraints analysis. The constraints to growth, job creation, and whatever. The key constraints identified here as in Liberia, lack of electricity, that's power, infrastructure, especially road infrastructure. We also have an issue with port infrastructure. And the other one is access to finance. And you also have to get the other, what we call enabling environment type of things, governance.
All right, so gentlemen, we listened to the Minister of Finance, talking about how we are still confident, how we are hopeful as a country, as a people. We've passed, the scorecards. In fact, one of the two majors we did pass them: the fight against corruption and personal freedom. We did pass. And so we are expecting to hear good news from the MCC board today. We've all been trying to wait the news. We thought that it would have come before press time, but that has not happened. But let me ask first to you, Kennedy, considering the effort we made under the leadership, under the leadership of the Minister of Finance, engaging all of those international partners, the compact, delegates that were here, and all of that. What's your expectation?
Well, my expectation is that the U.S. government, through the MCC, will make a huge financial disbursement to Liberia.
In a few hours for now.
A few hours. It could be 200 million, it could be 250 million, it could be 100 million, it could be 300 million, it could be 500 million.
Which is the ceiling.
Which is, yeah. So I'm sure that will happen. You can see clearly, just few hours before this meeting, there was another grant agreement signed with the U.S. government in support of our 124 million in support of the health sector, trying to close some of the gaps left behind by USAID exit. So I know how some of the ways the U.S., the patterns, if they are not going to do something, you will know it. They say when your Christmas will be by with the United States government, you will know it from the eve, even before the eve. So with the trend and the way, I mean, during the December 6th program, we're on the side in rural communities in our area to see. We saw what we saw, and we are very confident that some good news will come from Washington tonight. Yeah.
Okay, Dave, what do you think? Is there any big expectation? Should we be expecting out of the 500 million or maybe 100 million? Which one is it?
It's somewhat naturally. I am an optimist. I would expect things to happen in a positive, manner. So there's no way I can say that we don't expect anything. I'm quite optimistic or confident that Liberia will hugely benefit. And as Kennedy said, look at the trend of events. We're talking about what we'd expect the outcome of, what we're talking about. The Liberia just signed, the only country in West Africa just signed the 124 million. That means that Liberia, to some extent, improve its international image and is meeting with the expectation of the international community. Had it not been the case, I don't think the U.S. government, as critical as it is, with countries, they consider corrupt and, all the terminologies we're always using. I mean, I don't think the U.S. government would have singled out Liberia and West Africa to have signed such a memorandum of understanding that will put about $124 million in our economy. And you're talking about, I think we're talking the Millennial Challenge Compact, you're talking about the Millennial Development Goals, the alleviation of poverty, fight against illiteracy and all those things. Is Liberia on course in terms of fighting corruption, improving the livelihood of these people as far as its workings as governance system is concerned? Yes, of course, yes. Oh, sorry. Is it this coming from me? Sorry. So, Sabo, I'm as optimistic as the Finance Minister of Finance or any official of government, or as a citizen of Liberia, I'm quite optimistic. Yes, Liberia is not 100% perfect. There are still challenges. Even the fight against corruption stays countering challenging the rule of law. It also facing challenges, but yet and still in numerous areas of our governance system, I think Liberia actually has an edge over many other countries in the sub-region.
Okay.
So I'm quite optimistic that Liberia receive maybe a little over 500 million. So Canada is talking about, why carry so low? About 500 million or more than that.
I think 500 million should be the ceiling.
Okay. Ceiling. I think the people.
Let me hear from you.
I think there's a threshold that a country has to meet before.
Mr. Sandy, we are expecting the MCC to decide on its bold resolution. I'm sure before that we passed the scorecards, even the major areas like the fight against corruption and the personal freedom. We passed that. You just heard the Minister of Information. What's your expectation, Moses, in terms of what's going to come out of that board meeting today?
Well, like everyone has said, I would like to be an optimist because Liberia has made some progress. However, what I would like every one of you to be reminded of is that the future of Liberia is in limbo. What does that mean? It is uncertain. Until the NCP executives can make that final pronouncement, it will be erroneous for anyone to begin to throw numbers. We get this, we get that. This is unpredictable for now.
This
Let
is
me
what
better
we-
simplify.
it's
Let
a
me
guess
better
we're making.
simplify this.
We're making a guess, Moses.
Yeah, listen, my man. Tabe, when someone speaks, I want you to
Maybe-
listen.
No, go on,
Yeah,
Moses.
you
You have to
spoke.
be a little
Go
bit
ahead.
tolerant sometimes,
Yeah,
Moses.
No,
yeah. So,
you spoke already, Dave. Let Moses speak.
Go ahead, Moses.
so what I was saying, let me better simplify this. It's like you go for a job interview. I'm not talking about the ones where people are literally going to talk for you. I'm talking about a competitive process. You go for a job interview and you think you did extremely well. The interviewers tell you that, look, we'll get back to you in the next 3 or 4 days. At that time, you can't be going around telling people, oh, well, I'll be starting a new job soon. Because your future is what? Undetermined. Until that phone call comes or that email is sent, you are not sure of what will happen. You can either get a job or you don't. So that is where Liberia finds itself now. Yes, we made a progress. There are other commitments that this government, the U.S. government, has made to Liberia, but that does not in any way insinuate that you're going to get the MCC money. You can get it, or you may not. So let us not begin to predict, oh, what is going to happen, this is going to happen. Let us just hope that we succeed. That would be
Okay.
my thought.
Let me hold you there. Yes, Josh.
So
we
I
need to
just
come.
wanted to provide this information for us to guide us. Liberia Pass. This money is conditioned upon you passing this exam.
Mhm.
You pass the exam. The exam, there were 11 questions. 22 questions. You were expected to pass 11. You passed 12. So to talk about whether we are expecting something, that is not the issue here. It's about how much are we going to get.
Okay.
That's the key thing, and that's why we said we don't know the exact amount, but we hope that it will be this amount, that amount, that amount. Other people feel no board meeting on them. Other people feel no board meeting on them. The board is meeting on Liberia to decide how much they will give Liberia. That's the agenda of the meeting.
Now, gentlemen, the thing is, yes, I agree with you. That's the agenda of the meeting. But Dave is calling, man. What does he want to say? Yes, Mr. Cody, let's hear from you quickly.
Oh man, I'm a nighttime heater. Yes, I'm a part of the nighttime. I'm a heater.
Okay, go ahead quickly. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'll be very quick. Let me say many thanks to all of your panelists, and good evening to them. When your Christmas will be good, you know from the eve, we are going to get the money. I'm not talking about 200 million. I'm talking about 500 million plus. We'll get it. You just mentioned something about $124 million. You know, there are certain things surrounding things that you can see and know it will happen. The money will come. I am optimistic that money will come. Not in 400 or 300, 500 million plus.
Okay.
Those indications are, oh, my man, give me a chance. I told you I'm a heater. Those indications are what I just heard from my brother Kennedy.
Kennedy, yeah.
I didn't even know about that to this evening. $124 billion. That's something good.
Yeah.
And Mr. Sunday has a good point. We should be thinking about. But this one here, my brother, I beg you, leave it. We're getting the money. Yeah, it's a true case.
Okay.
And, please, just on the first issue, I beg you. I'm part of you. Mr. Moses Sunday made a fine comment. Observation that I like to support. Even though I know that David Tagwa, my good old friend, is a human being, he's not an animal. That's the only place I disagree with. But
you get one trick on noise here.
No. The only thing I'm saying is that Mr. Cindy made some very good points. When you buy buses, I must have been thinking about this thing from time to time. If that bus, if some ministries have only one bus, would the bus go to Oro and bring the people on time? Go to Douala, bring the people on time? The bus needs maintenance. You have to pay a driver. Sometimes the bus will break down for days or weeks or even months. I think transportation being given to the people. I'm not saying that the buses, the ministries are wrong for buying buses, but that one that I agree with Moses 150%.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
now,
thank you.
gentlemen, normally when this is happening, we heard about that debate. Even when we passed the compact, there's often this debate that the success of this administration should always be shared with the previous administration on grounds that what's going to come out as the MCC money, it's something that was initially, it's a foundation that was laid by the previous administration. Now, this government has gone 2 years, 2025, 2024 and 2025. Do we still attribute, if there's any success, which we know we're going to come, we're not going to be very negative about that, but if there's going to be any success, any monies coming from the MCC to help rebuild our country, do we still need to attribute the success to the CDC administration? Part of the success.
I'll go beyond the CDC administration. I'll start with Madam Salif.
Okay.
Because that's when, in fact, we got to know about this whole MCC. When they gave the first money that we use to expand the hydro. So it started from there. Later, we went low key. CDC administration came. They brought it up, and then they flung into the last two going. Where they stop is where this government pick up from. In 2024, made a pass. 2025 made a pass. And, so it's always tied to successive governments that brought it up. I cannot sit there and say CDC administration did nothing about this. No, they did something, but somewhere along the way they begin like a bicycle, probably about it. They start flunking, and later this administration came and picked it up from there, and, to move our way. So it's always tied into. That's why I got problem with people when they say, "This is a CDC project." They don't know. Ain't no good government that comes to power. You will always start the development from where the last government pick up. If you do that, the development of that country will progress. We've been doing it in the past. Somebody can that if government project to leave it and go start their own, and where do we leave it is, and I want to make a country like this.
Okay.
So, but it's start together.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I agree with Kennedy. Look, government is continuity. The CDC made its own efforts. Yes, of course, it has some shortcomings. But it made its own efforts, and it succeeded in some areas. It succeeded even in the same millennial thing we're talking about. Like Kennedy said, they flung maybe 1 or 2 times, but it succeeded, at some time. It started from Madam Salif, CDC picked it up from there. They continued, they also made successes, and now it's Joseph Boakar's time. So you can talk about the success of the government in terms of the Millennium Challenge and say by dismissing the achievements of the CDC. So they've all done a good job, and they deserve to be commended for that.
Moses, where do you stand on that?
Well, I definitely agree. I agree with Mr. Kennedy. I agree with Mr. Tagba as well. Government is continuity. You can't blame successive administration for the problems of Liberia. When it comes to success, then you say, oh, no, it's only the UP. No. Just as they take full responsibility for the challenges of the country, when you succeed, you should also give them credit.
Okay.
Even at a community level, when you take over an organization, you don't say, this is about me. I did this, I did this. You need to acknowledge the work of other people that you took over from. So we should applaud all successive administrations. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. So we're just hoping that, hoping and praying that that Liberia will receive something huge so that we can help with our development as the board decides on our feet today. Already, we've passed the scorecards, 12 out of 22, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we've passed that. And let's give kudos to the Minister of Finance. You know, when we say these things and people say, oh, you know, you try to give too much recognition to an individual. Yes, the Minister of Finance did extremely well. He's been engaging the compacts. He's been engaging the delegation. He's been making the case for Liberia. You know, Gaffwa is not just a Minister of Finance. He's also a diplomat. So, you know, when he's meeting those people, he uses diplomatic negotiation skills as well to make sure that things happen. So, no, Mr. Minister, whatever we receive, you know, you're going to be the celebrant for the year. You know, we're going to go to the house there and one and done with you. You know, you're leaving a very good legacy, especially you know, with the whole MCC compound. So let's give it out for the Minister of Finance. Now, so gentlemen, let's try to transition now. Let me read this quickly about the 14 additional districts. We spoke earlier today with Representative Romeo Quia. You know, he's on top of this. You know, and he consented that he would have, you know, given us the opportunity to have an interview with him for a few minutes tonight. But unfortunately, we're trying to get in touch. He's not picking up. So let's read what we have. 14 additional districts. Let's read what we have quickly. Public backlash grows as House approves.
There's something in the
I'm
background.
hearing some feedback. Oliver, kindly mute. Oliver, kindly mute. Public backlash grows as House approves creation of 40 new electoral districts. The House of Representatives' decision to create 14 additional electoral districts has triggered widespread public criticism as the country continues to grapple with long-standing economic hardship. On Tuesday, December 9, 2025, lawmakers approved an act establishing the new districts across 8 counties. If the Senate concurs, Montserrado will receive 4 additional districts. Bonk, Lofa, and Nimba will receive 2 each, and the Grand Bassa, Grand Cape Mount, and Grand Judah and Mangibi counties will each receive 1. The additions would expand the number of electoral districts beyond the country's 73 to 87. The announcement was met with sharp rebuke from citizens who argued that expanding the legislature is an unnecessary burden on public funds at a time when Liberia faces severe economic challenges. Okay, gentlemen, let me leave it there and go to a post that was made today by the former House Speaker for Nanti Kofa. I hope I get it quickly so that we also hear from the former speaker. Former Speaker Kofa trashes Speaker Kumpuch to create additional 14 districts amid high poverty rate. The House majority passed a resolution to apportion constituencies assuming powers they do not have. Article 80E is the controlling legal authority. Moreover, their proposed apportionment is a complete disenfranchisement of the southeastern region of Liberia. Speaker Kofa said that. Now, let me get your takeaway. Begin with you, George Kennedy, on the 40 districts, new districts.
This is a very critical issue. I hope really I get a little time. How I understand it already, say, because it has 2 sides. The first side is the legal side. The other side is the economic side, right? Let's go to the legal side where I'm not trained to say. our Constitution, Article 80E, is very clear. There should be redistricting after census, which shall be here after every 10 years. Okay. The last time we had census here, was it 2022 or 2020? Between there, I'm really forgetting about the exact year. The legislature at that time did not do the redistricting. In fact, the census was one of controversy. A lot of people criticized the census, but everything settled. What went on now is, I don't know whether it is, I mean, what is actually fair, the redistricting, whether it's fair or not is why I don't have to fight on. But it is legal, it is constitutional for them to do the redistricting. The other aspect is about the economic side. Increasing the number of representation from 73 to 87 or 14. So let me say this. The cost for maintaining democracy is very high. It's not cheap. It has to do with actual representation. The budget of yesterday that was 500 million is not the same today because it's grown to 1.2 billion. We'll continue to grow. We'll not come down. Continue to grow. So as the budget grows, after every 10 years when there is census, that will prepare our minds for this. That legislature will be growing repeatedly until we pass law. We will amend the constitution and say we shouldn't, redistrict after every 10 years. Send the country still remain the same. So what the lawmakers should be doing, as former Speaker Kofal is saying, it's not to go in a place and say, trash it. Should have lobbied against it, if I owe you, because that's a flow. That's where you people compete with ideas. Okay. If I were there, I would critically look at it. But to say the cost implication for 14 lawmakers, this and that, I was trying to do some numbers today. 14 lawmakers with their 13, 14 staff. You look at it, if I'm paying them at an average of $15,000, apart from benefits, I try to do it around, maybe it will go to almost $5 million. And you understand? It will go to almost $5 million. So I said, look, then, well, was a particular distribution, demarcation done properly in line with the census? Because part of what we saw in the census, we actually observed some component of some numbers that went to certain counties that really they don't have. We fear that they don't have. But if out of those numbers went there, you win by 8, they should be given district 2. It means that the constituencies there will increase. So I don't know how they did that, but in terms of what is necessary for them to redistrict, it's legal.
Okay.
It's legal. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, granted, it may be legal, but whether it's expedient.
Yeah.
Let's hear from you.
Yeah, that's just where I'm going. Yeah. Yeah, because their call for an increment in the number of lawmakers is in alignment with
the law. Yeah.
It's in alignment with the law, but it's an expedient. At a time, our economy is strangulated or stagnated. Strangulated is not a red word, but stagnated. And the government is struggling to revive it. And I think it's based on the same economic situation that Senator Darrell Dillon of Mosquito County is campaigning for reduction in the salaries and amenities of lawmakers, that the money they're receiving as lawmakers is too much and must be reduced. But at the same time, lawmakers are telling me, yes, of course, why it is true that it's in alignment, it's legally prudent, but it's still expedient for additional 14 lawmakers who will also be paid. The first other thing is that the existing lawmakers, what impact are they making on the lives of people in their constituencies for us to add additional 14? What we've always heard is that they're seeking increment in their salaries, they're seeking new vehicles, they're seeking this, they're seeking that.
Let me,
Yeah.
can I help you? Please? I beg you, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
Please, I'd like to do justice.
No.
Sometimes
Go ahead,
the
sir.
lawmakers are doing largely doing their constitutional duties.
Yes, of course, I agree.
So
I'm not disputing
I don't
that,
want to
sir.
send a message that they're not doing anything because we are media people.
No,
Yeah.
Kennedy. I hope we don't misconstrue me.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
saying they don't do anything.
And so,
I'm asking the existing lawmakers, what impact, positive impact, are they making on the lives of people in their constituents? What, their existence, is their existence changing anything?
Sure.
In the lives of people that represent?
Sure. Most of them, vast majority of them.
Okay, Moses.
You see, they pay people's school fees. They make laws that lead to roads in their community. All the budgets are for public works going. The executive will take the credit, but if these bills go before those people, they
okay.
I like to be. I agree. The guy that does that.
Let me speak.
No, I agree with that one. I'm not saying they're not paying school fees. They're not giving people scholarships. But please, are they kind of situation, a tight economic situation we find our country in, to mean economically it is not expedient for additional lawmakers. And this is why the debate about this latest development is getting more heated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moses, what do you stand on this? Lawmakers have passed, the House of Representatives, in fact, to be specific, they've passed this bill to create 14 additional districts. And as a result of that, there's this whole increase in public backlash. Some members of the public are not in support. What do you stand? Let's hear from you.
Well, I will come from the legal perspective and then later delve into the insensitivity of the lawmakers, which actually focus on the economic aspect of the decision that was taken yesterday. Article 80E clearly lays out how constituencies can be created. In order to have a constituency, you must have 20,000 persons. And that's how you begin to have districts. So in keeping with that, I would even question, because the census that was held prior to the election, many of you here will agree with me that the outcome of that census report remained questionable. It created a lot of confusion in the country. So to use that as a basis to begin to create additional districts, I don't think it was well considered. You watch the video, and this is where I sometimes find it difficult to when Sober talk about the performance of our lawmakers. You saw the video that was out there yesterday. The way the guys debated the issue, it was terrible. It was chaotic. I mean, I was sitting and watching this interaction in the House. There was no intelligent discussion. It was a shouting match. And people taking an actions that has a propensity of impacting the economy of the country and not being able to clearly articulate why they have chosen or why they chose to make that decision. That was terrible. So I agree with David Tagbe that we have a lot of lawmakers, even including the speaker himself, who I believe are underperforming. As a speaker, before you put something on that floor, that's why he has a legal advisor. He has to do what? He has a legal advisor. He has economic advisor. These people should sit with him, let him do some analysis. Is this doable? Why now? But to create additional 14 seats when the schools in Bopolu don't have chairs, when JFK Hospital, people go to give birth and they don't have money to pay, they are held as hostages. The University of Liberia lacks running water, and you're creating additional financial burden for the country. Where is your patriotism? I beg to differ, gentlemen. I agree with former Speaker Kofa. I think the timing is poor. The lawmakers came across as insensitive, and I think that bill should be rejected.
So, Dave, you just listened to Moses. In his final word, the bill should be rejected. This bill will be sent to the House, of Senate, where a house that we consider as the House of Elders. And I understand it is only in the House of Representatives that it is only the House of Representatives that are going to benefit from this 14 additional districts, and that is Senate. Now, considering where we are, gentlemen, we're still knocking international doors. Just a few minutes ago, we're praising the Minister of Finance, Augustine Kpeyi-Gafuan, for making the case and engaging the MCC, and we all are expecting to get some benefit from the from some money from the MCC. We are hoping that we can get the 500 or close to that. Again, just yesterday there was this this memorandum of understanding signed between our government and that of the United States of America to give some aid, some help, financial help to our health system. Now, we are a country depending largely on our international partners to help. Gentlemen, do we, because the argument of some members of the House of Representatives is that what they've done is legal, it's constitutional, but legality versus expediency. Well, we are still looking out to donors, to our international friends, to help us to rebuild our country. Just recently, the Minister of Finance, I think, held a meeting with that's the Equity Fund. Fine. Now, should the Senate outrightly reject that bill, considering our economic situation? Because the international community is watching, it's looking. Oh, these people want money to give, to create additional, districts for people, to get additional representatives. Then the questions start to come. But what impact, like you were asking, are the current representatives making, for which you want to invest additional monies in the legislature, not investing money in rebuilding the roads or expanding the roads or expanding the provision of electricity? Let LEC we're talking about today. LEC it's again turning into a Christmas light. Just this morning on 2 occasions, pressing the current went on.
I think it's an exaggeration.
So, gentlemen, let me begin with you, Mr. Kennedy. Do you think the Senate should outrightly reject this bill and not to pass it on the basis of legality, but let's look at expediency?
Mr. Saba, please. Saba, please, before you proceed. No, Saba, before you proceed to the next
layer. You just came on. Oliver, I'm coming. Let's go.
I won't borrow your word.
But he spoke earlier on the same topic.
I'm coming. Let me. Oh, you come on. You are on.
No, as a spectator.
It's true.
Before you move ahead of this, as you have
Oliver.
Go ahead.
I'm not on the show as a spectator, guys.
Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kirene, Oliver, let me just say something, Oliver. Quickly, let me say something.
Mr. Sandy,
there is a moderator. When the moderator is moderating, you don't shut the moderator off because you want to speak.
Mr. Sandy,
that's absolutely wrong.
You have to stay your ground.
I'm not on the show as a spectator. Before you move to the next layer of the topic,
you're expressing internet problem in
No.
So go ahead.
My internet is okay. I gotta say my own. What are you saying?
Go ahead, Chief. Go ahead.
All right, fine. Thank you, and sorry for cutting you off.
Yes,
on the issue of the extra 14 districts that are to be created, they are acting within the law, as we all have already said. If somebody will tell me here that they are being insensitive, then I will be thinking, what will happen to the extra 20,000 people that may be in those counties that need representation? So since they are acting within the law, let them act within the law. Unless we say that we should revisit the Constitution to increase the threshold of each district to a lawmaker instead of creating more seats. But as it stands right now, they are going by the Constitution. Article 80D clearly says that, as Mr. Sandy quoted. So, I mean, there's no argument about this. Those of you who are journalists on this platform and those listening out there should now go and do an investigation about the current population of those counties that will be receiving extra seats.
Mr. Wise, we are not arguing the constitutionality of the decision they've taken. We are looking at it from the lens of expediency. That's what we are looking at.
We are discussing legality and discussing expediency.
Okay, let me start an example, Sabo.
Let the law be the law.
Mr. Wise, let me start an example.
So wait, let me take care of the extra 20,000 people that may be floating in the other counties.
And Mr. Wise,
Mr. Wise.
You have to let me 1 minute. For example, the Constitution calls for the election of paramount chiefs and paramount and town chiefs. Are we electing them?
No.
We're not electing them. What was the reason cited for abolishing the election or suspending economic reasons? That means it was legally acceptable that what the law requires. But the law required that, but people thought it was not expedient in the midst of economic challenges. Similarly, because of economic challenges, we stopped for a long time. We stopped having election for chief. We stopped having chieftaincy election, though it is legal. The Constitution calls for it. But because of the same economic situation that the country had been facing for decades, they suspended it. So it was the same expediency that they considered. A same expediency we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. Yes, legally, their decision or their suggestion or their recommendation is in alignment with the law. But is it expedient, Mr. Wise? That's the point.
So then,
why aren't we as a country having chieftaincy election because of economic situation? This is the same thing.
With you. I do perfectly agree with you that we commonly have economic challenges. So in this case, what could be your suggestion? Because the threshold is showing that there are extra 20,000 people in each of the districts. So my question is, if we are considering economic issues right now, how are we going to manage those 20,000 people? Are we going to increase the threshold for each district to accommodate the population increase, or how? What are we going to be doing? Let's be giving suggestions instead of just saying because of economic reasons that are human beings that are increasing in those districts and that need representation.
I did not leave the suggestion with the public.
The public,
they provide analysis and they public make a decision.
Vast majority of people in the public, with all due respect to them, they won't understand the little bit. And that is why the role of the media is very important. I do agree the economic challenges. One thing about the chieftaincy election is being, I think we see here, we blame your economic reasons, but I think it is actually intended to maintain the power of the executive over time. We need to go to election, let the people be elected. I think, how to call it, the decentralization law, this and that discuss. I think they're trying to do that. It needs to be done. When it comes to this issue, the question that you asked me as to whether is expedient, I would say no, it is not. But mind you,
the law is a law.
No, I'm going to use that cliche. You know, the truth is, democracy is very expensive.
You said that earlier.
Yeah,
you said that earlier. Is
the
that
cost of democracy?
Because
democracy to maintain the peace.
Mr. Because you said that earlier. I think that's the point you want to push to convince us. Yeah, because democracy is costly.
Yeah.
So we should look at we should embrace it in the face of
existing challenges,
or compelling situation that we have.
If that is what
I'm coming. No. I'm still.
Ask a question, Chief.
We have a situation of roads. Our roads are bad. We have situation of electricity. Not all Liberians are sleeping on a current. Yeah, you may be sleeping on a current, but not all Liberians.
Transformers fall.
Thank you. It should take less than a day.
Yes.
But because of the LEC doesn't have the capacity, that full capacity, they can give you transformer in a day's time.
And there are hospitals that don't have beds.
We have hospitals that don't have beds.
How long
Equipment.
We have people.
How long has this thing that you're saying been happening to the country?
Oh, because they were happening, so we should accept it that they happen now.
So
no. I come here. Then I differ with you because we have an administration that have come to rescue. You know what rescue means? Rescue means to save people.
But we are saving people. What do you mean?
To save the people.
I think
So,
Are you telling me here? Are you telling me here? Saving them?
How does it save the people?
Fine, let me tell you.
It's even a priority. It's a priority.
Look,
It's an increment in the number of legislators a priority.
Look,
No,
let me
What's
let me-
on the ground.
On the bare floor.
No crayons.
let me
No benches.
Students are sitting on the floor.
Hospital don't have equipment. No medicine.
Let me
They
address
talking
it.
about putting money in
Yeah, someone.
Well, let me address it. Let me address
Yeah,
it.
Moses, 1 minute. Let's go
Let me
ahead.
address the question.
Go ahead.
As I said, the law
Is the law.
on the legal side, they are right.
Uh-huh.
When you discuss with me about expediency, I would say, okay, probably not. But I also
Not even probably. Not
I
probably.
said adequate.
Not probably.
I mean,
Realistically.
Someone
No,
representative. I mean, you say the same
we are
thing.
correct.
Moses coming. Moses coming.
You deny me.
You're very repetitive.
Moses coming.
So just
No.
yeah, hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is what I would like to say. It is often stated that not everything that is legally right is morally upright. You heard people say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I'm saying that, yeah, the law provides that, yeah, we can do this. But now the question that comes, do you have the resources?
No.
And let me better simplify this for you guys. There's what we call needs and wants. Your needs are your basic essentials, those that you cannot live without. Housing, food, and the list goes on. Your wants are what? Your wishes, taking expensive vacation, buying expensive car, All right. And let's assume that by Liberian standard, you make $500 a month. You have children. Your monthly income is $500. Can you afford to live in a house where your rent is going to be $350 a month? Absolutely not. Because you're not only paying rent, you'll be responsible for transportation. You have to buy food for the kids. You have to pay the tuition and so many other responsibilities you have. This is where you get to the drawing table and look at your income and say, hey, I have to live within my income. Instead of renting a house for $350, I will go and find a house where maybe I will pay $75 a month. And I'm trying to better explain this to help you guys understand that the decision economically, it doesn't make sense.
So, Mr. Sandy, I have a question for you.
Our president is traveling the world, literally begging people to resuscitate your economy, and you start creating financial burden. Does that add up?
Not at all. Okay, let's go here. Let's go here, Moses. Mr. Oliver wanted to come in.
So because
Mr. Oliver come here. We'll have to transition quickly.
Yeah, so let me ask Mr. Sandy something here. If Mr. Sandy was a teacher in the classroom, and as per the policy of the school, he should have 35 students in the class. And then this semester, he has about 90 students in that classroom. Wouldn't the principal look for a new teacher to at least play the class? Wouldn't that happen? That principal would definitely find another teacher in order to avoid crowdedness in that classroom, to allow the students to study. There is a population increase, and then people are being so insensitive here about the other human beings that are in those districts, and then talking about economic issues. We agree that we all understand that we have economic issues facing the country, but at the same time, it is not stopping birth rate. People are increasing by the day. We have extra 20,000 people in those districts. How do you want them to be represented? How?
But Oliver, let me answer your question. Let me answer your question quickly.
It's like
no, it's not the answer.
You got no money, you got no food.
I wasn't giving a chance to answer the questions.
Oliver, let me answer your question quickly, George. I beg you. Oliver, let me say this.
Yeah, ask my question.
The question you asked me seems to be an over-representation of the situation. We have not seen Liberians in the street complaining that they are not being represented in government. No, our people are never going to the street. Our people are never going to the street to complain. And say that again, Josh.
It happens most of the time at the Capitol building. Ask any lawmaker.
You want to the kind of street?
All right, go to the Capitol building, talk about representation.
Okay, so all right, guys. Also, I think that we need to manage the little we have. They say do not create a problem when you don't. I mean, when the problem doesn't exist, do not create one.
They're still making more babies.
This bill has created.
So for us, Mr. Oliver, Mr. Wilson, for us to transition, let me see mine. And we have to transition. The bill currently that's before the Senate, sent by the House of Representatives.
It's a resolution.
Yes, granted constitutionally, they do have the ground, but expediently, that ground doesn't exist. We don't have the babies. I'm coming. Please, you say yours. Let me say mine. We don't have the capacity as a country to add additional 14 districts. Are we taking into consideration the budgetary implication? All of those lawmakers they come in with their staffers.
$5 to $6 million.
All of them come. 5 to 6 million. Do we have that money? When we are talking about building our roads and providing additional electricity, when we are talking about putting benches in the schools, when we are talking about removing teachers who are not, including teachers on the payroll, who are not on the payroll, voluntary teachers. No, we don't have that capacity. So that whole bill, we're hoping that the Senate can just trash that bill, so that it doesn't pass. So please, I've already done mine. I've already done mine. Thank you. We have to.
Closing, I will address this issue.
All right, so gentlemen, let's start the transition quickly. The Investigator newspaper reported yesterday. The Liberian Investigator, owned by Leonard Dudu. I think we know him very well. A professional colleague. In fact, since he left the Front Page Africa, he has been a major competitor on the newsstand with the Front Page Africa. They ran a story yesterday with the banner headlines: "Lies and Propaganda." Let's try to read some excerpts, and then we talk about this quickly. It started this way: Stanton Witherspoon has admitted that claims lying former President Weah to a series of that claims tying former President Weah to a series of high-profile deaths during his administration were political lies, confessing that he and other influential voices helped manufacture and amplify the narratives as part of an effort to turn voters against the CDC government. So in essence, he's saying, the Liberian Investigator is saying that Stanton Witherspoon admitted on his Spoon show that he and others lied, concocted stories against the former President former President Weah, so as to turn voters against him in the last election. They linked him to high-profile deaths. Let me continue. The admission was made on his widely followed Spoon Talk broadcast on Wednesday night. Witherspoon's remarks come years after the incident that gripped the country. In an unusual, blunt language, Witherspoon said he and others deliberately portrayed the deaths of several auditors and the disappearance of 3 boys as coordinated assassinations carried out unconcealed by Weah administration. He said those claims widely circulated on radio, social media, and political platforms were designed to project the president as dangerous and incapable of governing. Everything said back then was a lie. It's in quotation. Everything said back then was a lie. He told his audience. All the deaths of the auditors and the 3 missing boys were propaganda we used against Weah. Now, gentlemen, let me end the story. I think this is the meat of it all. And we know the Liberian Investigator, very professional guy who's running this media house. He came out to. He carried a lot of stories. I'm coming now, please, my man. You have to. I'm the moderator here. Yeah. Let me begin with Moses quickly. Moses on this one. What's your?
Look, you always hear that the hallmark of good journalism is credibility, truth-telling.
Truth-telling.
So if Mr. Stanton Witherspoon who runs the biggest media outlet in the country, I'm not sure if he was in his right frame of mind. But if he sat on the social media platform and allegedly claimed that they attributed stories to the Weah administration with the sole intent of hurting the administration, the integrity of the administration, then I would say Spoon Network as a media entity, the future of that entity is doomed. Because that admission is very, very serious. Now, any story emanating from Spoon, people will not take it to be credible. Because the CEO said publicly, he said, hey, we were in the business of lying. I don't know who his advisors are at Spoon Communication Network, but if he said that, I would just find a new job if I were working there.
Okay.
We all know all these stories. We know that auditors die in the country. We know about the 3 missing men, the 3 missing boys in the country. These are not fabrication. But if Mr. Clinton Witherspoon said that they attributed these deaths to the CDC with the sole purpose of hurting Mr. Weah, that means that his institution is no longer credible. That would be my thought.
Okay, let's hear from you, George Kennedy, on this. Your takeaway.
I just laugh because we were all here in this country where even an EPS officer shot himself in the head more than 3 times in Canada.
You're not going to go. You're not going to off tangent. No. I come here.
He allegedly
Mr. Kennedy.
Allegedly.
Mr. Kennedy, you're not going to go off tangent.
What was
We're making reference to
that Stanton lifted.
No, you have to set the premise.
Those are some of the stories that Spoon lifted.
Oh, go ahead.
Seriously, and and lots of other issues, including what how to call it, Mr. Dudu repeated in his article. Face the facts. We're here. We all know even the president's comments after those things. He said Gifty and that guy were having affairs in the car. And you understand? So to come back to tell me that it was not true, Stanton started his media propaganda in his country, favoring the CDC from the beginning. When he went back to the US, whatever he wanted, he didn't get, he switched to the opposition. After the victory of President Boakai, he came wanting to get monopoly of certain items to bring in his country to sell. When the president rejected, he had now somersaulted and gone on the other side to go redo. Why he doesn't have credibility. President Boakai can never give you monopoly for rice in his country. He will never give you monopoly to import rice in this country. There is no president that will come here and give anybody monopoly to import rice in this country.
Okay, so that
Statoil can carry a station.
Okay, David, let's get a takeaway here.
Even if it were Jesus Christ who was president, and people would have suspected that Jesus Christ masterminded the death of those auditors because of the rare coincidence. And if I say rare, R-A-R-E, not R-E-D.
Yeah.
The rare circumstances or coincidence, that accompany their death, one after another. Any government would have been accused, even if it were Jesus Christ who was president. It happened, I remember, when Harry Greaves died during the regime of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. There were accusing fingers pointed at that regime at that time. Those were allegations that were never proven. Even the death of the auditors, though it was a rare coincidence, because it is unbelievable that people working in the same sector, auditors, we died one after another in less than 1 week.
1 week.
Quite frankly, obviously, the accusing fingers will be pointed at the regime. But no one cannot conclude that it was the Regina responsible because evidence must be adduced.
Thank you.
Evidence must be adduced. Now, coming to Stanton. First of all, the question I've asked myself, is Stanton a journalist or a political commentator? I don't know whether he's a journalist, he has been accredited as a journalist, or whether he's a practicing journalist, whether he has ever practiced a journalist, or he's just a talk show host. You remember a similar argument came about Henry Costa, when he was doing his show getting popular. There were concerns whether he was a journalist or not. And people say he was a political commentator. I guess Stanton is in similar category of a political commentator or just a mere talk show host. Now, I agree with Moses. For example, never lie to someone who trusts you. I wrote this down. And never trust anyone who lied to you. I don't know whether it's Moses that said it or was Kennedy who said something similar like that. Stanton, that means if I were working with Stanton, quite frankly, Stanton Witherspoon has cast suspicion on his own institution. Yeah. If we had a well-enlightened or literate society, majority of Liberians or viewers or listeners, whether in Liberia or wherever you are, would have abandoned that particular network. Which means it is a hub of lies, fabricated lies. So Stanton has admitted he lied on Joshua. Who knows tomorrow he will lie on Joseph Boakai or lied on somebody. Is it an institution, is it a media institution that is trustworthy? No. Never lie to someone who trusts you, and never trust somebody who lie to you.
Okay.
So to me, I mean, the Spoon Network, to me, it lacks credibility. The CEO has trashed it.
Okay.
It lacks credibility.
Okay. Oliver, let's hear from you.
Look, Suburb, if Stanton Witherspoon ever made those kind of comments, then I think the PUL should start to investigate the Spoon Network. Because, I mean, those who died still have their families alive and still grieving. I think this government is even investigating the sudden death of those people. So if Stanton Witherspoon, who is known to be one of the biggest talk show hosts in the country, can come out today and say he lied on the CDC government and all of what he said about those deaths were just fabricated, then he needs to be investigated. Then I think he is a person of interest. So, honestly speaking, the PUL has a responsibility to regulate media institutions about stories that they carry. Stanton Witherspoon, for me, he is not a serious person for me because he supports where his interest is. When there's no interest, then he goes on the other side. He is an advanced version of Yege Koluba. So I don't respect him. You know? So, I mean, I'm calling on the PUL to go beyond what Stanton said and let him be investigated. If possible, the LNP can use him as a person of interest. And in fact, the CDC can sue him because those kind of comments actually damaged the CDC.
And he has illegal
elections.
Yeah. Okay, so gentlemen, you guys have said all. Like Moses said, truth telling is one major hallmark of journalism. It just shows that the government needs to get involved in how it protects the airwaves. we can have individuals calling themselves political commentator or talk show hosts, trying to spew lies and innuendos about our country, about decent character. And this is what we are seeing now. Like I said, Linan Dudu is he's well known. He's a professional journalist. I don't think Linan Dudu will want to concoct this story.
You can put your neck on.
No, I come in. I'll have to do that. I don't think you want to concoct this story, because I know he listened to the broadcast, and it was from where he reported. In fact, not only Linan Dudu. Thank you.
Okay.
Even the front page
the
also reported.
story is
Okay.
So this is where the government needs to come in, because the PUL does not have the teeth to bite. The PUL cannot, sanction as to who runs a media institution. No, the PUL doesn't have that authority. It is the government that has the authority. So for an individual to come out and tell the public, say, look, things that are flagged on my program were all lies. I linked to former President We are to the deaths of these people because I wanted the voters to go against him. Who's going to trust you anymore? It means that bulk of what you are today broadcasting, they are all lies. So, like you said, if we had an enlightened society, yeah, we know we got some individuals who are enlightened, but if the vast population of our people were enlightened, they wouldn't be listening to Spoon.
You know what he did? In the midst of his anthem, the December 6th function of the UP, he didn't cover it.
Can you imagine?
He said it to Bikana and Banga.
Why?
He's angry he didn't get his monopoly.
Because then
gentlemen, let's try to transition. You listening to yeah, quickly, Moses.
Yeah, quickly, let me just say something. And you already said it. I just want to piggyback on that. The PL has limited authority. The PL has no control of deciding news content.
Mm-hmm.
It has no power in deciding how you operate. The PL can only provide guardians. This is where the role of the Ministry of Information comes in. The LTA, the issuance what? License for the use of the airways. So if I were the Minister of Information and the chairman of the LTA, that is the time we begin to hold conversation with the representatives, the managers in Liberia, that hey, we listen to your CEO, we have concern about this. The role of the media is not to incite, it's not to put people at loggerhead. It's to report nothing but the truth, consolidate the peace, enhance the peace. So if a media institution is going off tangent, putting people at loggerhead, the government can use its authority to shut it down.
Surely. Well, thank you.
Shut it down. Yes.
Thank you, Moses.
And lastly, let me say this. People don't know that political commentators, social media podcasters, when they are using the airway to discuss the politics of the day, to report the news of the day, they become amenable to media law. You can say, oh, I'm a political commentator, and you come and say Moses and he stole when they come after you. No. When they go to court and sue you, you can be held liable for slander. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. Political commentators are amenable to the laws.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Moses. Thank you. Gentlemen, let's do justice to our last discussion quickly. It has to do with the National Port Authority. The Port Authority has released its performance report for 2025. Let's try to read through briefly, and then we can do our own takeaway. The National Port Authority reset 2025 a year of delivering results, reforming systems, and reclaiming leadership. That is three major things they put. It did. It delivered results. reform the systems there, and reclaim leadership. The National Port Authority recorded one of the most intensive maritime reform periods in its recent history. The reset agenda produced hard results across operations, safety, infrastructure, governance, and international engagement. The institution shifted from slow and reactive to fast, modern, compliant, and globally connected. The achievements below represent a direct, measurable upgrade of Liberia's port system. Maritime, number one, maritime operations, restoring 24-hour activity and improving vessel efficiency. Can you imagine that? 24 hours. The most important operational milestone was the restoration of night navigation at the Freeport of Monrovia. Modern navigational aids were installed. Vessels traffic expanded from a restricted daytime schedule to full 24-hour operations. Waiting and turnaround time reduced, berthing efficiency increased, ship turnaround improved across terminals. The NPA also opened alternative PS and for assessment and pilot operations to cut congestions and to create new maritime corridors. Plans for a national inland container terminal advanced to ease yard pressure, support transshipment, and expand the storage capacity outside the free port. A new port state coordination department was established to regulate dangerous cargo, enforce maritime standards, and strengthen incident response. Marine equipment and a fleet enhancement, building operational strength. The NPA invested in critical marine assets needed to elevate port performance. New tugboats entered service to support safer berthing and on-berthing. Pilot boats were commissioned to strengthen vessel handling. Operational vehicles were deployed to Buchanan, Greenville, and Harper to support harbor operations. The institution acquired a first emergency ambulance, improving occupational safety for maritime workers. These additions increased NPA's operational independence, reduced downtime, and boosted national maritime capacity. Port infrastructure renovations that strengthened national assets. Large-scale improvements took place across port system. Buchanan Port, lighting restored after several years of blackout. Safer nighttime operations and yard movements resumed. Greenville Port renovation projects launched to address aging structures. Upgrades planned to improve handling capacity and safety. Freeport of Monrovia infrastructure assessment carried out to guard modernization under the reset strategic plan. Yard cleaning and operational cleanup improved traffic flow. These works reversed years of decline and positioned the port for future expansion. Okay, gentlemen, we can go on and on.
Yeah.
But the National Port Authority has released its 2025 performance report, and these are some of the things the MD indicated that they've done at the ports of Monrovia, including the ports of Buchanan and other ports as well. Well, what's your take, with Dave? Let me.
It sounds very good, but I mean, it almost sounds like I'm not disputing what the achievements are that the state, the press release has outlined, but if it's a self-portrayal of the management of the port, It's a separate trail. It's not independent. I don't know whether an independent.
No, but let me hold you there. Let me hold you there.
No problem.
The management is an independent body. Yes, I agree, appointed by the president. They did the job. Normally, when you go to a head an institution, you come up with your own assessment report, your own performance report, because you know exactly what you've done there. Except someone can come up to say, somebody can come up to say, no, why are you saying it's not true? So the management has been able to record all those basic significant improvements.
I initially said that I'm not disputing what the NPA management is reporting.
Okay.
But as far as I'm concerned, is a piece of public relations that the NPA management has done for itself. I personally, I don't know whether an independent technical team has visited all the ports to make an assessment to come up with an independent report. Well, it is a separate trail of the management of what they've done at the port. Yes, of course, I've heard some good news that they did some dredging they did some dredging. I don't know whether that is true or not, but I understand the capacity of the port. I've heard that the capacity of the port has improved. There's so many ships that are berthing, unlike the past. I understand that the lighting system also improved. All what they indicated, I've heard that. But as far as I'm concerned, it's not independent. It's this NPA.
Okay, so you will have to seek the opportunity now to go and do your own independent verification.
So I've not heard that the port authority, they must have done that, that I'm unaware of, taking independent journalists on a tour, to see for themselves what the achievements are.
But you don't dispute what the indicator.
But it's not independent. It's a separate trail.
Let me hold you there now. Let me hold you there. You said it repetitive now. Let's hear from you, Oliver. Mr. Weezer.
So, if Mr. Tagba is a journalist, I think with the public document available from an NPA boss, he can now go to the port and do his own fact findings. But as it stands right now, I just want to say thank you to Mr. Dukley, a young man who I never doubted, for such a remarkable job done at the port. I mean, we no longer have musicians at the port serving as consultants. I don't even know what they were doing there. So we don't want to say thank you.
Where you have musicians serving as consultants? Which year? Where?
Some the records are there. And so we want to say thank you to Mr. Dukley for the many good things he's doing at that port. You see, one of the areas that actually caught my attention is where, they talk about infrastructure upgrade at that free port, new 24-hour lighting, commissioning of new fleet or operational vehicles, stuff. So you see that the port is becoming modernized day by day on this young, vibrant manager. I want to say thank you to him. So those who thought he couldn't do it, he's trying to rewrite the history that young people can do more than what people thought they couldn't do. And there will be no way we can allow musicians at that port again to be serving as consultants.
One point I want to make. One of the best characteristics of a journalist is to go beyond what they hear, not what people see.
Okay, we hear that. Let's hear from you, Moses, before we can come to George. Moses,
I'm here. I would like to begin with a statement that my brother made, Oliver.
Oliver, yeah.
He said during the We administration, there were musicians at the port working as consultants. I think that's very condescending. That's disrespectful. Being a musician, it doesn't mean that people do not have other skills.
Yes. Mr. Sunny, say your own.
Yeah, listen, my man, I'm expressing my opinion based on what you said. And someone may argue that Moses. Let me use myself as an example. Someone may argue that Moses Sandy is a journalist. As a result, he lacks the ability to discuss anything that has to do with mental health because they don't know me. I have a graduate degree in what? Clinical social work. 19 years experience. There are a lot of musicians with PhDs. They have other marketable skills.
Yeah.
So for you to dismiss them,
a whole group of musicians.
the post has, listen, he said they were working on it. For you to dismiss those people, their contribution to the country, only because they are quote unquote musicians, I don't think that's fair.
Oliver is alluding to how they call it, man. Yeah. They lie to us, they lie to all musicians, how they call him.
Yeah, but what about the case is that's prejudice.
Say your own.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's consultants doing what there.
Okay, so let me talk about what is happening. The press release from the NPA.
Yeah.
Like my brother David Tagbe said, this is a public relations campaign by the NPA management.
Period.
The dredging of the port, the lighting of the port, bringing in equipment, those are all what? Routine initiated, routine responsibility of port managers. You don't need to go and tell the people, oh, wow, dredge the port. We are not interested in that.
No, that part of Moses said,
Must they didn't contribute to the budget.
Oh, guy. Yeah, listen. Yeah, listen, my man. Oh, my God.
Moses, so if
let Moses learn.
So what you've done over the period,
let Moses learn.
Yeah, so I agree. So the point I'm trying to make here is that despite all the public relations, all the initiatives that they are undertaking, that does not in any way get the fact that they should now contribute to the national budget. They're trying to do this to give justification as to why they should not be contributing to the national budget. That's a violation of the law of the country.
Okay. That's
the bottom line. That's the bottom line. I agree with you, Moses. That's the bottom line.
Please, you can talk across the floor.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, yes, let's hear from you. Huh?
In 2024, the NPA contributed more than $2 million to the national budget.
In 2024?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'd like to set that record straight to make people understand. In addition to everything that he listed, I can tell you that what we know in fact is that when it comes to international training, this current administration has trained more than 100 people all over the country. India. Different
you're an insider.
India, China, different countries, Europe. I know this and right now, in fact, we got 4 people right now on the company's full scholarship at the Regional Maritime University in Ghana.
Okay.
To try to obtain a master's degree in various disciplines and other stuff. So it is some good things are happening there that we people should admit to. Yes, there are challenges. Clearly, part of the reasons why people are trying to maybe hold back to the resources and reinvest is we see the pier, we see other areas where there are challenges. The vessel calling at the port has increased, and where the APN terminals is, the APN terminals investment is very small. So the management is trying to expand the pier and get additional vessels to buy on the other side, which would be very good. It will increase the country, revenue, and if they do that, they will be able to actually raise revenue. So the Breakwater, other places, they need to expand it and dredge more and then put more finger piers and other things over there to make the Freeport very viable.
Okay.
So I think they need some support. The lawmakers need to understand certain things, and then and then allow certain things to go and make sure that they step up their oversight to make sure that those things happen, we get a return as a country. It'll be very good.
Okay, thank you, George. We'll shortly open the lines for a few minutes, but I think what has been inserted in this report, I don't want to doubt them. I think the management team at the Port Authority, headed by Sekou Dukla, I think they've been doing extremely well. We've been hearing about some of the good news. I think the port basically just.
In fact, I didn't say something. Today, that was a CBA sign.
Yeah, surely. I think I saw that document.
CBA is one of the best I've seen in recent times. Okay, the CBA actually protects the welfare of workers.
CBA,
the collective bargaining agreement between the workforce and the management. Look, let me be fair, friend. Some of the things I'm hearing from them, I've not seen the detail. Those that are contractors in the port, they're going to regularize their status as employees. All right, some people been over there for 15 years, up to 18 years, contractors. This aspect of that particular CBA attachment, if all is true, because I've not seen the detail, as I said. But
let me read what I have. Let me read what I have quickly.
Yeah, please.
The National Port Authority, I always get all this information. The National Port, I don't sound like the other guy, whoever they got a document. At the end of the day, you gotta go, confess that you were lying on people's name. The National Port Authority has signed a new collective bargaining agreement with the Dock Workers Union of Liberia and the Liberia Labor Congress, ending a 10-year delay that denied workers updated benefits and protections. The signing took place at the NPA corporate headquarters and was greeted with strong excitement from employees who waited a decade for this milestone. Okay, those who attended, it's not important. Let me read this one. The new CBA strengthens workers' rights and aligns all decisions with the NPA employee handbook and the Decent Work Act. It introduces a 10% salary increment, a non-taxable $50 food allowance, life and medical insurance for all employees, and a death benefit that keeps a deceased worker on payroll for 24 months. It also ensures promotions and increments are performance-based, subject to operational capacity and a board-approved budget.
Sounds good.
It sounds good.
That's what we're talking about, Sabo.
Yeah, so I think the port management is
they have a strong public relation mechanism.
Let me announce the numbers quickly. 077-846-0793. Again, 077-846-0793. Or better still, 0886-050507, 0886-050507, or the alternative line 0776-540-987, 0776-540-987. That's the numbers to call. And of course, you are live on the nighttime heat tonight. Let's take the first call on the line. Good evening.
Sobo, good evening.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to our panelists. My name is Sekou Fofana, member of Unity Party Intellectual Bureau. I'm in Baji Fagi tonight.
Okay.
Also, always love to listen to your show because it makes more sense to the day school. Having said that my interest lies in the 14 seat what they want to create. Or is my law. Nobody can dispute that, but asking my senator, the monarch concur with the lower house. The 100 lawmaker we have, we say if they not do nothing for, we get problem with them. Then they want another burning oil again. For me, I suppose Unity Party 100, but if they want happy, trust me, support not easy for because the economic crisis in the country. We're not someone we're not looking like football defender. We'll see the truth, we'll talk it. We'll see the light, we'll talk it. They will be burning to the government. And so, before I jump in now quickly, I want to talk about the musician serve as consultant in the. I said someone knows that fight on the station. The thing is that secret. Kapunje, MC Caro, all the top we see, all of them they are consultants. Then somebody coming, coming to innocent, they are to say you not know about it.
Okay.
If you want to say that you can do. Team that will not to say they remain there. They will not to the people what kind of work they were doing there.
Okay. All right.
So someone will say said that you're coming to our body, we are not coming by anymore. So that one, but you forget about that thing, yeah. So
okay, all right, many thanks. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. Better still, 0886-050507, 0886-050507, or 0776-540-987. That's the alternative line. We've been discussing four major topics. In fact, the MCC, that's the Millennium Challenge, is still, deciding on its board's resolution. We've been talking about what's going to come for Liberia, and of course, we've been expecting that there would be some monetary benefits. I'm sure, the fact that we pass the scorecards, we're going to get something that will come to Liberia. We've talked about that. We also talk about the establishment of 14 additional districts. Should we or should we not? And also the confession to anti-WIA propaganda campaign that have been making rounds, in fact, being linked to Stanley Witherspoon. And also the National Poll Authority released performance report for 2025, bragging of delivering results, reforming systems, and reclaiming leadership at the NPA. So those are discussions we've been having. Those are the topics we've been handling tonight. You want to make your input? 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. Or better still, you are using the Lone Star 0886-050507. 0886-050507. Or better still, this alternative line 0776-540-987. Let's take this call on the line. Good evening.
Good evening, Saba.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good evening to all of the panelists on the panel. This is good with them covering in a journalist conversation from this today. Well, let me appreciate all of you for the very talking points. First, let me begin with a quote-unquote anti-WIA confession. Well, he did not do it to anybody from the Hinderi party. I think he did it himself. He has just proven to the people that we should not trust him anything he said, because he has made confession that he is a liar. So anything that comes from him right now or even before, we are not going to take it serious. So now to the issues of the establishment of the creations of additional seats in the legislature, I strongly in support of that decision for 14 additional seats to be added. But there is no suggestion to the Honorable House of Representatives. Now, they can do it this way. That 14 additional seats does not need to come from the national budget. I think they can do it this way, right? Since they are making around 8,000 around there, they can take out 1,000 or 2,000 each from their salary, and the $2,000 gas coupon they receive every month, they can take out 1,000 off, and the two vehicles they receive in the 6-year period, they can reduce it to one, and the other one can be kept for the additional seat that will be created, and their salary deduction that they will get from that salary deduction, that's on the city. If you take on 2,000 from each of them salary, it can spread on the other additional 14. But coming to take it from the national budget, for me, I disagree with that, because for our budget to reach billion, it is not for finding another loophole to spend it, but rather it should be for developmental purpose or creating jobs for the ordinary people. But I don't think it will be for only a few set of people who will be sharing the national cake, and while other people laboring in poverty. I don't agree with that. So I believe if they want to exercise Constitution, but I don't know why are they seeing the other part of the Constitution that the superintendent need to be elected too. Because that's how our Constitution comes. The mayor and superintendent, chief or chief, these are people that need to be elected. But why is it that we know that Constitution because it's for expediency? So if now, when it comes to them increasing their seat, they cannot do expediency, they want to abide by the law, that should be my suggestion, that they can look within their existing salary and benefit to cut it down to spread on the additional seats that will be created. Thank you, Summer.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Time has cut off us. Gentlemen, let's go across the table quickly to get our passing comments and of the issues we can talk about just for maybe a minute or two quickly. Dave, let's begin with you.
Well, I still stand my ground that, look, additional lawmakers to me is not a priority. It will be a waste of resources. Yes, of course, it's in line with the Constitution, but it's not expedient. There are a lot of challenges, many institutions, including health centers, hospitals, clinics, public schools in the interior and in the urban and rural areas still facing challenges. There are hospitals that don't have beds or beddings. There are hospitals that do not have equipment. Talking about modern, medical equipment or hospital equipment, and then you saying paying the 14 additional lawmakers and giving them amenities such as gas coupons, other benefits. And I think it'll be too wasteful for us as a country that still begging for handouts from other international groups.
Okay.
And besides that, Stanton and his how to call it, his phone network, Stanton has trashed his own network by admitting that he lied. That means he has been lying. So it's not somebody that should be trusted. You can lie to somebody who trusts you, and you can trust somebody who wants to lie to you.
Okay, let's go then. Yes, Mr. Kennedy, let's hear from you. Your parting comment.
In my honest opinion, I do agree that the creation of the districts is in line with the Constitution of Liberia. And honestly, sometimes when you debate, when you see reasons, other sides, sometimes it's good because that's what the debate is about. It's not for ground standing.
Yeah.
And, it's actually, truthfully, the expedient right now, because to create those districts, to demarcate, the Senate should play a mature role. The Senate cannot trash. None of those horses can trash the law made by the other. They can always set committee. So now it's Senate committee room. They can let it stay right there on the public sentiment. Decreases. Sometimes it just remains there. So the Senate, as the House of Elders, is going to. We want them to use that wisdom. The wisdom to talk with the men in the house, men and women in the house, to make them understand we can pause this for now for a few years and see, see our the economic viability of the country. Then we can come back to it before the next census. But it's constitutional, right now, we're not strong financially, economically.
Okay. Moses, let's hear from you. Your parting comment.
Yeah, it was indeed a great show. And the three of us, including yourself, making it 4, I think we all stand, together on this. The expediency is not there. It's not necessary now for us to create additional burden for our people. Like Kennedy said, if the Senate can just, play a little bit of politics, let this, bill just sit in committee room forever, and let us focus on the issues of today because we don't have the resources. Someone called in and the guy had me ready giggling. And you say, hey, let them take $2,000 from each of their money. Are they willing to do that? Of course not. They're not going to do that. So right now, they're overburdening us. And lastly, let me say, yes, NPA, we acknowledge your public relations, but please, my brother, cooperate. Make your yearly contribution to the national budget. All the PR thing here is not going to help you, my brother. Just make your contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, Moses. Oliver?
Yeah, so
your parting comment.
Yeah. So I maintain that if you have 3-bedroom house or you have 1 room, you don't need to have additional 7 children and then you start complaining where they will sleep. Since poverty cannot stop people from having children and will have increased population, and the laws will be the law, let a district be created. And we were thankful for the people. But let the law be the law. Just yesterday, we were crying, the law is the law, the law is the law. Today, we're talking about expediency and we have population increasing in the country. It is unfair to these people. It's unfair to them.
That's an interesting.
Well, let me say thank you all of you guys for coming tonight.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Enjoy you tonight.
It sounds so interesting. Dave and the rest of the guys, gentlemen, thank you very much.
The message, the law is the law.
Our producers as well. Let me reference just some of our viewers. Henry Tito Jr., you also watching. Cool J Imara, he says the blogger. Ibrahim K. Swain been watching from Chicken Factory. Victor Molba from Freeport. Vinicius J. Ba, he didn't say from where. Ophelia S. George says he's been watching from home. Anthony there, we gone. He said he's been watching from Nima County. Emmanuel Joe, he said been watching from Old Road. Well, we can call everybody names. Time has cut off us. Join us on Friday. That's the weekend edition. Until then, have a pleasant time. Yeah.